I like to begin every meditation with a bow. So I'm bowing to you, and I'm bowing to people who have carried the practice of meditation throughout the centuries and have valued it as something they want to give to others. Without their practice and their teaching, meditation is something we wouldn't have. And bowing can actually put us into the right kind of mind for meditation right away. Just these two palms together and bending, bowing our heads a bit. I'm not sure why it is that bowing lines up so well with the kind of mental balance or attitude that's conducive to meditation. One thing that I think is that essentially meditation is itself bowing or paying homage to something. So that's where we get away from the idea of technique and artifice, which can be helpful because meditation at the outset can seem artificial, like you're trying to use a technique to create essentially an artificially created state of mind. Our experience with meditation throughout the months and years will challenge that notion. But if we can start to wrap our minds and hearts around this idea of, at least sometimes, meditation is not an act of creating something for yourself, but an act of complete humbling and submission to a superior element that is mysterious. And that superior element is the present moment consciousness. The power that this attitude can bring is that it involves more of your being. It integrates more of your psyche into this effort of meditation. So instead of having meditation be a compartmentalized exercise that you do as part of your mental and emotional health care routine, which attitude could leave it as something as a priority among many priorities. It's on the list of things to do for the day. But this paying homage to the present moment state of consciousness brings us into a more profound relationship with ourselves and our life without extending the amount of time we meditate. Your meditation time can still be something that fits into your schedule, yet instead of it just being something that you do, it can be a time when you lay yourself before it completely. And the power of this is that it actually pulls more of your psychic energy from your secondary consciousness, from your unconscious mind or subconscious mind. The mind that is viewing this activity as part of a larger program of activities for the day. It's essentially bringing a religious, spiritual framework to what you're doing. And the way to do that is to recognize, right? Because this isn't just somebody telling you to do this because that's what they said. We're actually recognizing that the present lucid state of consciousness, a present mind, is the most powerful thing for human health at our disposal. That abiding in that present moment consciousness will slowly but surely liberate us psychically and emotionally from bonds known and unknown. Abiding in that present moment consciousness will turn us into a gift for others. The sense of well-being that we develop or return to, depending on how you're looking at it, is something that we can't help but offer the people that we meet throughout the day. So there's this profoundly helpful aspect of present moment consciousness that's important to think about and verify for yourself. And there's also a mystery to it. And we all need mystery. We are knowers. We want to know. We would know everything if we could. We have that tendency. And it's kind of like the saying, having your cake and eating it too. We eat the cake. We want to taste, we want to know. And so we take something that was potential, this kind of aesthetically pleasing potential, and we eat it, and we turn it from potential into concrete reality. At which point we can say good or bad. I like it or I don't like it. And mystery is at the heart of every religion and spiritual practice. The recognition of mystery, of not knowing, that there's something mysterious right here. And if you would stop for a moment trying to know what you're going to do, what you're going to say, what you should have done, how you're going to do something, and if you just stop talking so much, and you bring your talking to this, and your talking comes down to this, here I am, you can say to yourself. And that's what I mean by paying homage. That in meditation, when you say to yourself, here I am, when you recognize, I am here, I am present. And if you let that be enough, then that is honoring, that is paying homage to something mysterious. You don't know how just being here is going to help you, but you're trusting, again, based on what you've been able to hammer out about present moment consciousness yourself, and based on what trusted friends and teachers tell you, books, wisdom traditions. And there can be an element of experiment. You're testing it out. Somebody says to you, abiding in present moment consciousness is special. It's the most special thing that you can do with your mind. And you can test that out in your own minutes and hours of meditation. If you hear the call of that promise, you can see for yourself. And so the really powerful thing, the element that you bring to this act of paying homage to essentially your basic self. But at that point, if we've gotten to the point of not knowing, we can't know if it's you or other. But the powerful element that you bring to this act of paying homage is choice. And so really, it's present moment consciousness has this healing effect, this relaxation effect, this deeply liberating effect, this revealing effect. It might not be able to liberate you from a relational entanglement that you're in. That's what they would call spiritual bypassing. That you can just meditate something away. There are some things that can't be meditated away. And the longer you meditate and the more you try to meditate things away, the things that can't be meditated away will reveal themselves. You'll learn about those. But just as a helpful hint, one of the things that can't be meditated away are relational entanglements, responsibilities, the need to talk to somebody about something, the need to apologize, the need to express yourself, to tell somebody that you got hurt, or to tell somebody that you don't want to do something, or if you have a need to take care of someone. Those are all things that might come up in meditation as kind of suffering or painful. And things arise and they pass away, and that's part of the power of meditation is watching that. And so you can get a little bit of relaxation around your need to act, to take care of these things in your life. But you'll see there's some days when you don't have those relational entanglements come up. Maybe you're kind of good at the moment. Hallelujah. And you sit and you just kind of flow and you deepen. And maybe you develop a sense that you could sit for a really long time and enjoy it. And there's other days when maybe you're expecting that because you had it the day before, but something has happened in the meantime. You said something that you regret, that you feel like hurt somebody, or somebody said something to you that you need to tell them about its impact. And those things won't really go away. So the idea that you can spiritually bypass is actually a wrong idea. You can't. You can't. You can think that you can, but you can't. That's why it's a no good practice. It's good to recognize what you're trying to do, because you're trying to do something that don't work. If it worked, it wouldn't be a problem. So while present moment consciousness might not be able to liberate you from relational entanglement, the point is here that it can reveal when it's time to address those things. Because if you're in this boat and you're floating along and you are enjoying floating along, and you bump into something under the surface that you just can't row around, then that's something that you become inclined, you get an extra motivation to deal with that. And of course, if you're familiar with taking care of those kinds of things, with a heart-to-heart conversation, a nonviolent conversation, you realize what a gift those conversations are. What a gift it was to have this problem, to have this thing that's kind of sticking in your craw, this thing that your boat is bumping up against and it won't let you pass. If you like meditation, if you like floating, the first response is, damn it, how do I get past this damn thing? And then when you turn to the relational and you hammer it out in your skillful way with that other person, or you take stock of your sense of responsibility to yourself, to your family, to this world, to this life, it's rewarding. It makes us feel good. It makes us feel love. It makes us feel strong. It makes us feel right. And then you come back to your practice of abiding in present moment consciousness, and you flow on for a while. That's part of the program of meditation. You're taking care of the present moment consciousness, and it's helping you take care of your life. And the enjoyment of both can go hand in hand. But back to choice. Choice is the act of will that very evidently in the beginning of meditation has to happen over and over and over again. That choice to stay present instead of going off on thought trains. Or even maybe it doesn't look like that. Maybe it looks like when you become present, when you get dropped off your thought train at the present moment station. It's a recognition of where you are and the supremacy of that here you will always be. Here is where you always come back to. So in that sense, you're making a choice of where you put your importance, what you prioritize. Even if you don't make an effort to prevent your mind from going off on another thought train. At the most basic, you're sitting still or walking quietly back and forth. You've set up a container. You've set up a temple in which you can pay homage to present moment consciousness. Depending on how you feel, you can guard it. If it's the holy bird that has landed on your altar because you created a temple for it, once it's there, you can figure out how to take care of it and encourage it to stay. But your energy may be different that day or in that moment. And all you feel like you need to do is recognize that the bird has arrived and that it's here. And if the bird is here, then we are in the right accord with life. That there is no figuring out from that point how we should be. Because this moment is the perfect moment. This moment, in all its implications, is perfect. And so if we're paying homage to this perfect moment, recognizing that it's perfect, working to encourage it to stay, or letting it go with the knowledge that it will return, what we might get what we might receive is the living experience of a spiritual ecstatic. Someone who is loving God. Someone who can write a poem like Rumi and talk about weeping to be with God. And so meditation isn't simply a relaxation practice, simply something that's going to help you to be mindful for your life, which it will, but it becomes about having a relationship. And either it's a relationship with God, which is possible because God is a mystery, or it's a relationship with yourself, which is also possible because that's also a mystery. And in that relationship is where the life of a meditator is. And the security of that relationship is that when things fall apart, that is the relationship that cannot. That will never stop talking to you. And that you will always be able to respond to. May you be well.